It's hardwired to distort the self-image because that's not what you really look like. People are posting the best and the prettiest pictures of themselves. When you devalue your experience, when you devalue your life, you're also devaluing yourself. That is what it's doing to your mind. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Shantia. If you guys are new to my channel, I do Married at First Sight reviews here. I also create inspirational videos to propel people into action with the intent of helping you explore your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Okay, so welcome to lesson 2 of my series, Heal, Feel, and Reveal. I do definitely dedicate most of what I do on YouTube to women because I am expressing and I'm sharing my perspective. So I feel like that's the audience who I feel the most relatable to, but all people are welcome to this series. So for lesson 2, we're going to be talking about social media. And I think this is a very vital lesson to helping propel people to move into action, is becoming aware of what you are consuming on social media. I may specifically be referring to vlogs because I think you're literally watching people live their lives. I'm not entirely sure how long this series is going to be. I know I will have at least 7 lessons to go, and it may be ongoing after that. But you guys are free to join in. Every lesson I'll talk about a topic. I will prompt some questions you can do for homework, things you can do to apply to your own life so you can take action, right? So we don't just want to consume the learning, we want to find ways to actually apply it to our lives. That's when things actually change. That's where the real change happens. What does social media do to our minds? I think for sure it creates a lot of unrealistic expectations. It creates a false sense of fulfillment. It creates a lot of envy. It muddles your personal and individual identity, and it gets in the way of you paying attention to your life. When you take the opportunity to actually pay attention to life, that's when you'll actually be able to create real change and permanent change. I have this quote posted to my website that I love to use. My goal in life is not to escape from life, it's to escape into it. For many years, I was guilty of escaping from my life. I would escape through fictional novels, through watching vlogs, through watching people live their lives on YouTube or social media, while also continuously remaining unhappy and stagnant in my own life. I would say 5 to 6 years ago, I decided to move away from that, to strongly filter what I was consuming, whether it was the music or the videos or any kind of content on TV. When I started filtering the content I was consuming, I started to shift the way I was thinking. I started to feel a lot more confident in what I was creating and doing in my own life. Social media creates a false sense of expectation. Instantly, we can see people succeed. Instantly, we can get this shot of dopamine from seeing people live these happy, perfect lives. But of course, we have to acknowledge that there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes that we are not seeing. So while someone might show themselves working out in about 5 seconds, the real workout in real life, in real time, takes about 40 minutes of work and physical labor that you have to do, which is so much more labor than just sitting there watching a video. I truly believe that paying attention to your life allows you to be a lot more present, to be so much more in your body. A lot of the anxiety and depression that I had felt previously was cured as a result of filtering the content that I was consuming and also limiting the amount of content I was consuming. These days, when I consume content, it's purely self-indulgence, which means that I have to derive pleasure from it, which means I have to gain a benefit from it. So one of the questions that I'm going to prompt is, what do you consume? What are you consuming? And does it add value to your life, or does it take away value from your life? That will clarify for you what you should filter out of your life. Why do we do it? Why do we waste all of these meaningless hours on the internet, watching these videos, watching these vloggings, on Facebook scrolling, on Instagram scrolling? Well, for one, it was created for that. It was created so you could be addicted to it. According to recent statistics, over 44% of internet users watch vlogs every single month. 44%. The average person spends 100 minutes a day watching videos online, which amounts to watching 5 billion YouTube videos per day in total. So I would definitely say I attest to giving YouTube my watch minutes, but it's funny because I consume a lot of things on YouTube. I don't consume TV, like rarely, and even Netflix. I'm very limited to watch what I watch on Netflix or other streaming channels because I'm watching YouTube. There's nothing wrong with giving things your watch hour time, because I love learning and I love consuming content that helps me to learn and activate my mind. However, I limit that to either one place or another. And I find that I don't really have a lot of time to do everything, right? So you might find that you have a lot more time if you filter out that content that you don't need to consume. According to this website, vlogging is also an effective form of marketing, since it's estimated that 66% of business owners rank this video as the most effective form of content marketing. So, of course the vloggers are winning out there because they're marketing their content, their business is going up, it's thriving. It's easy to sell lifestyle because people want that lifestyle escape. However, when you're so busy watching other people live these high lifestyles or these perfect lifestyles, you lack appreciation for your own. And I can attest to this. I appreciated my life less. When you devalue your experience, when you devalue your life, you're also devaluing yourself. That is what it's doing to your mind. Let's go ahead and get further into this discussion. Social media is that escape. It feels like a cure-all for depression. I read an article that talked about how watching people vlog helps to inspire you to take action, but I would have to counter that. I don't know how many times I've watched people on vlogs and I think, oh, okay, I can like clean and watch this at the same time. No, I don't. Guess what I end up doing? I end up sitting down and listening to what people were saying because I couldn't do both. I couldn't watch the video for one and clean at the same time. It's just too much. Basically, you're just distorting your attention. It's not really motivating. The most motivating thing is going to be you. When you're creating a routine for yourself on a day-to-day basis, when you're creating your lifestyle, when you're creating a task list that needs to be done and you're checking off everything, that's motivating. And this is coming from someone who just learned how to keep a planner. Now, prior to that, I still do Post-it notes, love Post-it notes, and I would do to-do lists. But I noticed that when I would just minimize my tasks to day-to-day, I actually took a business class where she talked about scheduling things day by day. So if you schedule things day by day and you say Monday I need to get this done, Tuesday I need to get this done, most likely it's going to get done. And I actually thrive off of the dopamine of checking off the things that I've gotten done and completed in the day. That's way more satisfying. And then seeing the actual results in my life unfold, that's way more exciting than seeing someone else experience the happiness in their life. It's very limiting. Watching other people experience their life is very limiting. One, I don't have that close relationship with that person. Two, I truly can't benefit from that because all it's gonna do is I'm going to drop back into my body after I've watched that video. I'm gonna look at my reality and I'm gonna see that this isn't the life that I want, right? I want something like that, right? I wanna be doing what they're doing. But the thing is, they've done the work to get to where they're going and they've listened to their intuition, their instincts. Their job is to film content, talking about vloggers, their job is to film their life, is to create an active lifestyle so that they have content to show you. So guess what? They're out there experiencing their life. You're watching them experience theirs. So why shouldn't we do it? Why should we not watch people live their lives? Why not? It's on there, it's everywhere. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. Why not? It's because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, it is shifting the way that you see yourself. And I see this all the time. People, they'll start to go more on social media, they'll start to promote themselves more, and they say it's about their business, but then they'll get caught up in a certain look. They'll get caught up in what gets the likes, what gets the popularity. And then they'll find themselves thinking, why am I doing this? Do I actually like this? Is this what makes me happy? So social media is innately, I'm not the biggest fan of this word, but I feel like this is actually the best word to use, is toxic. It's innately toxic. It's hardwired to distort the self-image because that's not what you really look like. People are posting the best and the prettiest pictures of themselves. That's not what they look like. And we're not made to consume all that excess content. We're not supposed to be watching people live their lives constantly. We're not supposed to be looking at selfies of ourselves every day. I do like a selfie every once in a while. Like if I get like my hair looks like really good, then I'll do a selfie. But we're not meant to look at our image so often. And the camera itself distorts your image. These days, cameras are made with filters and all kind of applications just to make an image look so-called perfect. for social media. So it's extremely unhealthy for the self-image. It's not realistic. I knew early on, I'm going to talk about this in my physical well-being lesson when I talk about the body and I talk about health. Early on, I knew I didn't want to become like those girls in the Lifetime movies. I would watch so many Lifetime movies where these girls would have so many self-image issues. They would starve themselves, they would get sick, they would do all of these things, extreme things to their body. And it made me feel so anxious. So what I would teach myself as a teenager was I would look at my body naked. I would practice that because I knew that this is what my body looks like. I know this is what they're showing on social media, but this is what my body looks like. I need to appreciate it for what it is. I practice not wearing makeup. I practice not looking at myself without makeup on and liking it, not wearing makeup. You have to practice these things because that's what the realist self-image is, what you see in the mirror as it is. You know, sometimes I'll look at my face and I'm like, oh, I got circles under my eyes. But I'm like, well, I got circles under my eyes. That is just the way my face looks today. It is what it is. I got frizz. I'm gonna have to embrace it. It also creates depression and anxiety. I remember comparing myself to this girl who, you know, she had graduated college. At this time, I was like, I was still finishing college. And she had created like a really successful life for herself. But in the process of that, for about, 4 years prior, she had been building towards her success. She had been building her business. She was investing all her time into building her business. And I was investing my time into like being confused about what I needed to do. I wasn't paying enough attention to my life. So once I started to filter all those things out, I stopped logging onto Facebook, stopped logging onto Instagram, stopped logging onto the vlogs on YouTube. I started having more time to think about what I wanted. And the questions would come up naturally. I'd be like, oh, this is what I want. And then I would start feeling in my body, what gives me pleasure? What makes me feel excited? And I would start redirecting towards those changes. And those times in my life where I was the hardest working, I had the most going on, I didn't have time to watch those vlogs. I didn't have time to watch other people live their lives. So when you're really paying attention to your life, you don't have time to watch other people live their lives. So what is the benefits of filtering and pulling out and pulling away? It's huge. It's huge. Not a lot of people are physically experiencing life in their bodies. So mentally, you know, we're attached to this idea of like this beautiful lifestyle. But then when we drop into our body and we look at our reality and we're like, this is it? This is all I got? We're not realizing like you can change. You can shift, you can transform. There are things that you can do to create that lifestyle for yourself. You have to physically learn how to be in your body to know how to manifest the experiences that you want, that you desire. When I watch people online, I feel close to them, but it's not a real relationship. So there's a bit of a disconnect. You know, we're forming these partnerships, these relationships with people across the internet, right? We're watching them. But if it's not a two-way street where they're talking to you personally and they know you personally, there's a huge disconnect. It's a one-sided relationship and it's a very limiting relationship. There are relationships you can be having with your friends, your family that are much more connecting. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't feel connected with my family. I don't feel close with my family. And I was one of those people. Didn't feel close with my family. Always felt like the black sheep. Guess what? I started making time to spend time with my family. I started investing into our connection and we got closer. Just like that. You know, we built our relationships. We built our connection. So the connection that you have with people on social media, it's one-sided. It's not fulfilling. It's not a real two-way. Or two of cups that they would call it in tarot. It's not a two of cups type of partnership. Those are the ones that are fulfilling, is when you're pouring into someone else's cup and they're pouring into yours. Whether we are aware of it or not, we're comparing ourselves. And you can't help it. Social media is innately toxic in that way. You're gonna look at someone and be like, well, why don't I have that going on? Stop doing that. Limit how much you consume it. You can't help it. It's built and hardwired to think there's something wrong with you. Those people who are the most popular on social media, you notice their pictures became more and more perfect over time, which, by the way, I have learned how to use Photoshop better, but their images become more and more perfect, more and more perfect. I actually practice intentionally looking at slightly bad pictures of me. Of course, you know, you want to present your best sides, and on YouTube, you can't help but be aware of your good angles and bad angles. However, I do actually practice. Like, there are so many snapshots that are just, they don't look cute. I remember when I first did YouTube, I would have like these very like awkward moments with my angles, and I would just cut them out. And now I'm like, there are awkward moments and I'm like, okay, it happened. I'm like, unless I absolutely can cut it out, like if it doesn't add value, or if I have to cut it out because it doesn't make sense to put it in there for the sentence or the moment, I'm just gonna leave it in there. You know, we have to practice looking ugly. We have to practice looking imperfect. We have to practice looking messy. This is what we actually look like. This is what real life is. And it's so much more exciting because life is so unpredictable. It's so much messier and it's so much more interesting. You know, I always say, like, as an artist, like when people are looking at, when I'm looking at faces, I love painting people's faces. I don't care if your face is like super beautiful or whatever it is. All faces look interesting to me because they're all different and they're all varied, and I like that. I like that everything is different. I like there are different skin tones and colors and textures. So again, I really stress this. Invest into your life. You want your life to be exciting. Watching other people live their lives isn't going to make your life more exciting or more fulfilling. Investing more time and attention into your life is what's going to make life more exciting. What you put your attention on, it expands. If you put your attention on someone else's life, now that becomes a huge part of your consciousness. If you put your attention on your life, now that becomes a part of your consciousness. If you put it on the career that you've always been wanting to create, now that becomes a huger part of your consciousness and it starts to expand. So whatever you put your attention on expands. Think about that. So what did I learn to do? As a result of filtering out the things that I was consuming that wasn't adding value to my life, I learned to follow my truest desires. When you're following people on social media, you know what I've noticed? People start to copy them. We start to imitate them. We start to become cardboard copies. And the funniest part of it is those people are cardboard copies of themselves. So think about this. All those beautiful women out there, Angelina Jolie, Kim Kardashian, all of these women out there, they don't even look like that. They don't even look like that. I mean, if you just go online and do the research, you'll find out. But so many of these, like, we call them the perfect, beautiful women. They've created unrealistic expectations for themselves. So why are we looking to these women to be like, that's what I want to look like. That's the life that I want to look like. I mean, that's not you. That's not you. Your individuality is the most interesting part about you. So I have this lyric. I like to write songs, and I actually started writing songs because I couldn't really access painting anymore. I started to have a lot of creative block. So I started accessing music because I had no creative block around music. It was just fun. I have words for days. And one of the lyrics I write is, there's a million ways to fail, but there's also a million ways to succeed. We don't give ourselves enough opportunity to see how many ways we can succeed in life because we're so consumed by this idea of things not working out the first time. The people who have achieved the success that they have, and they're posting these, you know, the celebrations on social media, I am willing to bet they've failed more than a lot of other people. They just don't go around, you know, promoting it or talking about it. Rightfully so. Like, I'm not going to go around talking about everything that didn't work, but I'm like, if it does add value to a conversation, I'll bring it up. It will make a world of a difference. When you start to truly invest and pay attention to your life is going to transform. You're going to become inspired by what you can do, what you can create. You're going to surprise yourself. I want to talk about ways in which we can implement change. Start asking these questions to yourself. Are you paying attention to your life? Does what you consume add value to your life? Why? Does what you consume, or some of the things that you consume, not add value to your life? Why? Your homework is to filter those things, unfollow, unsubscribe, and limit those things that do not add value to your life, and allow that to redirect you towards the changes that need to be made and done. When you stop consuming that content, you're really going to become so much more clear about what your heart's desire is. And that's the thing. That's why I'm saying individuality is the most important part of your life. because you're the only one who knows the answers to what you need. But the social media and consuming how other people are living their lives and thinking that you need to be living the way that they are, it muddles your thinking. It muddles and it fogs your access to the answers for yourself and what you're needing in your life. All right, so that's the end of this lesson 2. And the lesson 3, we are going to be talking about releasing limited beliefs and blockages. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure you are here for the next video. I will be uploading one every week. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening. Bye.